Okay, okay, everybody. I am back with another video. Back with another video. Back with a haircut. I think maybe my last video I had a haircut, but got a haircut. My hair's really low now, but actually, y'all guys never saw my hair before. So I always covered it up because I didn't have a haircut. But I'm back, and I'm here to talk about a new topic, as always. I don't have anything else to say before this, so I'm gonna get straight to the topic. And to be honest, on this topic, I don't know where I was going with this, and I still don't know where I'm going to be going with this because I didn't know I was going to this when I was writing it out when I thought about it, but I just thought it was good to have. But I'm going to say it now. So the topic is called "Let That Child Out of You Every Once in a While." What does that mean? I don't know. What I really don't know where I was going with that, but I think the best example of letting that child out of you is the epitome of Michael Jackson's life. He didn't have a childhood when he grew up. He didn't get to go outside and do any childhood things really. He was replacing that time with studio time off his own will, done by his dad Joe Jackson and Motown. As soon as they signed the record, Michael had to do it at a point of his life. So did his brothers, and Michael was also the most famous person in that group. So his brothers could probably still go out and do a little bit of things the older they got, but Michael was always the most famous person in that group from basically when he joined it to whenever he left it, and after he left it, he only got bigger. So he really didn't have the option to ever even go outside on his own, and he talked about that even when he was an adult, how he couldn't go to the grocery store. Even athletes can't do that now, but Michael Jackson could never do that from age 5 till said age or till he died. He never could do it in his life. But the more important part is his childhood. And the thing about Michael Jackson is he tried to recreate his childhood because he realized how special that childlike figure is to have in yourself, and that he sees that missing that part of his life was very detrimental, and he was trying to regain it back all throughout his life. So he made his home called Neverland, and he had the amusement park, all the zoo and the train, and all the childlike things and all the games inside of his house because he was trying to recreate it. And his message was really to, through his songs and who he was as a person, was to save the world and save the children, because heal the world we live in, save it for our children, because the children are the people who are going to be the world in the future. And the children that he was talking about back then are now the adults of today. So he was trying to give them a better life so they can make the lives better of their children. They can be an everlasting cycle. And when you lose your childhood, it's really detrimental. Like I said earlier, it's really detrimental to your growth as a human, because you might grow up to have built-in trust issues with people. You might grow up to be violent. You might grow up to not want to have the drive to do things. Anything can happen. So the privileged kids might not have the drive because they grew up without having the need to have drive. The people who have trust issues might see that their parents left them or somebody left them earlier in their life, and they couldn't trust anybody after that. And there's just many ways that stuff that happened in your childhood could really affect you, and you really can't change that as you grow up, because as soon as it's engraved in you as a child, it's really just your outlook on life for the rest of your life, unless fully changed. So when you have the opportunity to let that child out of you, let the child out of you is basically what the concept of what I wrote. Because when you are trying to act like an adult all the time and be just Mr. Stuck Up or Mrs. Stuck Up and Mr. Serious all the time, you're really going to miss out on life, because life isn't just about, making money and being serious all the time. Sometimes you have to let the child out of you. Sometimes you have to go do that fun thing. So people, when they go on vacation, that's them almost letting their inner child out a little bit, because they're getting away from their adult lives, and they're finally able to set free themselves of control, basically. And control is most of the reason why people don't have their childlike figure coming out of them all the time, because they're controlled, and they don't have the choice to do that. But if you are able to just let your child out in any many, or not many situations, in just small stints to make you feel happy, do things that make you feel happy, is really the childlike post that I'm talking about. Just do things that make you really happy, or do old things from your childhood that make you happy. Just do something that makes the child come out of you, because that's, for most people, the most joy in their lives is their childhood, and they always think back to how they had no no big rules set on them. They had no responsibilities on them, and that's just a great thought and process to go back to in their life, because you can't get that back after you leave your childhood. And I see that now as I see kids. I see kids, and I try to make their lives better when I interact with them in some way possible, because I know that I can really affect their lives, and I don't want to just be a negative effect on a child's life. So I try to, if you have to be cringe, you have to be cringe. And this can be cringe childlike to yourself, with yourself. I don't mean just when you're, talking to kids or something like that. You can be cringe for yourself, and, that's the child heart out of you. It's fine to do it in stints. But yeah, also when you're interacting with these kids as well, it's really important that you go into that cringe, you go into that different mode, that you don't act like around adults, and you give them experience, or a learning experience, or just a good fun time experience that will be lasting with them forever. And maybe, you never know, you'll see them in the future, and they might remember you and help you out in life. You never know. So always be nice to a child, always bring joy to a child. Don't try to be a Debbie Downer to a child, because they they don't have any real say, or they have meaning, but they don't have meaning to your life to where you need to be just downplaying them and just making them feel bad, because they're just children at the end of the day, and they don't know better, and they don't have life experiences, and 99% of the time they've hardly probably ever been out of their hometown, so they don't know about the world. So you have to bring the world to them, and you have to be the world to them. So be good to children, and also bring that child out in yourself, and you will become a better human, and you'll feel better, and you can take on life a little bit better. And you only live life once. I said that in another video, or it's the whole video, but you only live life once, so don't don't just be stagnant. Don't just be content, because it's fine to do that, but sometimes you have to be different, and that can be better for yourself to make your life better. But that's all I have for the video for today, guys. That might not have been as long as the video. Yeah, only 7 minutes. So yeah, that was all my video. I'm going to cross that one out on my list now. Let the child out of you. So yeah, my next video will, I don't know if I post these in the right order anymore, but yeah, my next video, if I just don't know how much I'm going to talk during my videos, which is half my issue. If I felt like talking, I'd give y'all more breakdown on how to speak to people. And I think these might be in chronological order. So I did keep reading this book. Last video, I think I said I got to page 27 in the nighttime, and then I kept reading again last night. So then I got to page 56. I just stopped here because it was like 12:48 at night. I was like, dang, I need to fall asleep. And then and then I fell asleep, and I woke up at 4 a.m. last night for no reason. And it was like it was like 4 a.m. And then I don't know what I did from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m., but I like fought sleep and wakeness, and yeah, I didn't do anything. I knew I couldn't get up on my phone. I knew I didn't want to stand up because it was 4 a.m. When I woke up at 4 a.m., I was looking at my window. I saw my window and kind of moved to the side, and I even opened my blinds. I was like, yeah, there's no sunlight, so it's not the morning. Or it was the morning, but it wasn't, 8 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know what happened to me. I take some melatonin to fall asleep sometimes, and I took that last night. I had melatonin, it gives you some nightmares. So I did have a little nightmare, but I feel like that nightmare ended before I woke up. So I don't know what made me wake up, and the nightmare wasn't even that bad. But I don't know. I had a rough night, but whatever. This is page 56, and yeah, this page is going to be how to make people want to start a conversation with you. So I'm going to read this hopefully tonight, if I don't get lazy. Yeah, and hopefully I get through this book at a good rate. It has about 300 something pages, so I'm in the halfway point through the hundreds. So I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna report back with some of my talks in these videos, and tell you all about some of the techniques I've learned. So far I've learned about eye contact, what else was there? There's how to make yourself position in the conversation, how to talk to a group of more than one person, so a group of three, who to make eye contact with in that group of three, and just things like that. And then, yeah, just how to start a conversation, and there's other things, but I'm gonna make notes about it, hopefully. If not, I go off my memory like I do, or just skim through the pages again. But that's all I have for you guys today. I already brought it along. I should have stopped that at 7 minutes, but I wanted to give you all a little update. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see y'all later. This is Justin in Nano.